Hey, this is Victor Antonio with another Sales Influence Moment. In 1960, a gentleman by the name of Ernest Dichter wrote a book called The Strategy of Desire. And in there he had an interesting phrase. Listen carefully because it relates to sales. It says, we must use the modern techniques of motivational thinking to make people constructively discontent. And I caught on to that phrase, constructively discontent, and I started thinking about what does he mean by that? We must use the techniques of motivational thinking to make people constructively discontent. And here's where he was going, that people will not buy from you unless they're happy with what they have. Let me give you an example. Back in the day, we had albums. Remember the big albums, the LPs or the 45s? You know who you are. We were happy with the albums. One of the biggest disadvantages is that every time the side finished on one side, the music finished on one side, you had to flip it over and put it on the other side. So what happens? The market came up with something called the A-track. Remember that? And we were happy because now it would all flip automatically. We wouldn't have to go from one side to the other. The A-track would actually flip from one side to the other. We were good with that. Then all of a sudden, they came out with the audio cassette. Now when we saw the audio cassette, we were discontent with the 8-track, so we moved over to the audio cassette. We were happy with the audio cassette. Then guess what happens? The next innovation, CDs come along. Now we were happy with the tracks, the cassette tapes, but then all of a sudden we saw the CDs and we're like, wait a minute. We became constructively discontent using the audio cassette, so we moved over to the CD. We were happy with the CDs until MP3 players came along. We were happy with them until they started telling us, look, you can carry 1,000 songs in this one little unit, and you don't have to use all of that rack space to carry all those CDs or store all those CDs. So all of a sudden we became constructively discontent with our CDs, and we moved over to our MP3s, right? So all this to say one thing, that unless your consumer or customer is constructively discontent with what they have, they will not move over and buy your product. So the question is, and I'm asking you and I'm challenging you, is how do you make your customers constructively discontent? How do you make them aware of what you have versus what they currently have? And if they can see the difference, they become constructively discontent. And the best way to do that is ask challenging questions and really question what they're using, why they're using it, and then show them why yours is better. This is Victor Antonio with another Sales Influence Moment, reminding you, selling ain't hard when you know how. Take care.